My objective was to finish everybody I see. I feel like last year wasn't even like my first attempt because I wasn't supposed to be there. I was supposed to be there, but I wasn't supposed to be there.
The AllStar app, the number one app in the business. UFC, Bellator, One Championship, PFL, and more. Get the app right now. Link in description. Delano, 2022, man, a phenomenal year for you. Many people believe you put yourself on the map with the run you had. Reminiscing about that hectic year you had, what were some of the learning lessons, the biggest learning lessons from everything?
Biggest learning lessons for me was coming to terms that I could hang with the best guys in the world or some of the best guys in the world. Coming to the reality that any limit that I had for myself, I probably put on myself in my head. I think that was like the biggest thing for me. Because there's always questions about can you do this? Are you able to do this? Like it's normal, it's human. But I think that was the biggest thing for me coming to those terms of my own reality of how good I actually am and how much more I can elevate in the game. Like there's no cap to how far I can go.
That must be a great feeling, man, to realize that in yourself,
Yeah,
you know?
yeah,
Could
yeah.
you even put that into words?
Surreal.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Goosebumps, right?
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah,
Like you give me goosebumps, man. Like that's, fighters, that to me that's the pinnacle of that. You know what I
yeah.
mean? You could play ball and it's different, man, cuz you're
It's
not
way
going in
different. Yeah,
there and doing combat.
you're not going in there knowing with the intent that you potentially could die. You're going in there with like no other sport is like that. Boxing is like that, but like no other real sport is like that. You see accidents in football, happen, but nothing comes close to knowing that this person can potentially take your life in this cage as you're fighting.
Yeah, without a doubt, man. How physically and mentally taxing was that first PFL season for you?
Uh, Mentally taxing, it wasn't as bad. Physically taxing, um, I think it was more physically and emotionally taxing for me because I had to go through a season not knowing if I was going to fight. And I remember there were point in times where I was told that I was going to have a fight, and then I was pulled out from the fight so somebody else could fight, and then they told me I was going to fight again. So I think the physical aspect of it for me was just cutting weight, not knowing that I'm going to have a fight. It's different when you know you have a schedule and you're going to go there and you're going to do this and this is what's going to happen at that time. When you don't, it makes it really difficult to stay on track and stay on task and stay as disciplined as you should because the emotional aspect of it is you think you have a fight, you're told you're not going to have a fight, and it kind of like demoralizes you a little bit, if that makes sense. Like it kind of makes you want to just let me just go eat some cake or something and some ice cream, just just to feel better about yourself. When in actuality, like you don't really need to be doing those things, but that's just kind of how it feels.
Did you have to take some time away, man, after the season just to unplug and get away from fighting because of all of that?
Yeah, actually, I did. I took for me, like when it comes to taking some time away, I just go to Jamaica for a little bit. But I didn't need to take a crazy amount of time. I just needed just 3 4 days to just really just reset. Come into the season just like calm and collected again. You know, that was really what it was for me. I didn't need to spend anywhere or be anywhere for longer than 3 or 4 days because I don't take that much time to really come to terms with things. I kind of get over stuff really fast.
How long did it take for you to get back into Killcliff FC and just be in full blast training?
I would say a week, not even a week. Literally, I think I was back in the gym right after my wounds from that 5 round fight recovered. I was just back in the gym, just working things that I just needed to work or working things that I felt like I can improve on. Um, I took breaks after that, but I made sure that after the fight, I went back into the gym and I just stayed consistent in in the work that I put in and the discipline that I've already instilled within myself for such a long time. So I just made sure that I just stayed in the gym, because I feel like for me, being in the gym is the fastest way for me to clear my head and like come to terms with things. So after I was in the gym for a bit, then I took a little break and reassessed and let my body heal even more. And then I was like, all right, cool. I think I'm on a level state of mind now to where I can do these things that I'm setting myself out to do.
Now that you know like what a season entails, what is the process you take to prepare for this upcoming season?
Well, the process for this season is stay as healthy as possible. You know, really focus on my recovery, really focus on my rest. Like it was really hard for me to do that last season, like really difficult, primarily because of just how fast everything was going. It was just like I was fighting here. I don't know if I'm fighting, but they want me to be here, so I'll be there, you know. And maybe I'll fight, maybe I won't fight. Who knows? So it's really just it really was more taxing on me physically because I didn't really get to keep my body in check because of how fast everything was going.
April 14th, man, the new season starts for you. You're taking on Magomed Umalatov. Thoughts on him and his fighting style?
I think he's a good fighter. That's my thoughts on him. I actually told him last season, and you can ask him. I told him after I fight Ty and I win this belt, I want to fight you first. I told him that straight up to his face. Like I told him that he's who I want, primarily because it's like I'm in like that dog mindset, that warrior mindset. Like you got to beat the best to be the best. You know, like I want to always consistently just test myself against people who are the best of the best caliber. You know, so there's no reason for me to be training so hard and doing all the things that I'm doing to not go out there and want to really show how good I am. Um, at least prove it to myself. It's not even for the people, but mainly to prove it to myself, like that I'm not doing this for nothing. That I can be the pinnacle of this sport, and I can be at the top of the echelon. That's kind of like my goal. So I figured he would be the next toughest opponent, and I'm like, all right, yeah, I want him. I need that.
Maybe many people are going to consider you one of the favorites, right? And he's maybe one of the dark horses. Do you see it as that way?
Um, I thought it was the opposite. I thought they would consider him the favorite. He's
Really?
undefeated. Yeah,
Yeah, that season's different though, man. You could have undefeated record, but the
yeah. I
experience, I
mean,
think it plays a factor.
I think it plays a factor, but this wouldn't be the first time I've been the underdog when I've had the experience or I've been more of a vet than someone. But so I don't put it past them. I just know. I feel like I've been in this sport long enough to not have those expectations of how people push a show or break down a show. It's like there's not even a reason for me to get upset if I was the underdog because I would prefer to be the underdog. I would prefer to be the guy that people think is going to lose. And it just kind of adds a little fuel to the fire. It lets me go out there and just perform to the best of my abilities. There's no pressure on me. There's nothing on me. I just go out there and I can just perform.
That's interesting you say that because we know what you're capable of now. You know what I mean? We didn't know until that last season, like clearly, but now clearly we know. And I think a lot of people have expectations of you rather compared to like last year.
Yeah, I think people have some expectations of me, but I'm not really living up to people's expectations of me. I'm living up to the expectations I set for myself. Being a good role model outside the gym, as well as inside the gym. So at the end of the day, I'm really adamant about just not putting pressure on myself. There's no reason to put pressure on myself. Fighting alone is enough pressure. Being in the cage with the spotlights on you and millions of people watching you is enough pressure. There's no reason for me to add any other extreme pressures to myself. All I need to do is continue to do the same work that I've been doing over a period of time, and accumulation of that work will show itself in time. That's it. I don't need to do anything else.
Who do you work with on a daily basis to get prepared for Magomed?
I work a lot with my teammates, like Impo Kasangana. He just got signed to PFL.
Yeah, I saw
Jason
you in the
Jackson.
cage.
Yeah.
You're happy for him, man. That's great to
Yeah.
see the
I
love,
was really
man. The love
excited.
you
Yeah, I was
guys
really
got for each
excited.
other.
Impo Kasangana, Jason Jackson. I work a bit with Henry and Henry Hooft and Roger Crawl. Also Greg Jones. Um, it's just nice having those guys around me. I also work with the boxing coach Dieter Navarro. Um, but it's really good to have these guys around me because they can kind of give me like the knowledge and experience of things that they've gone through in their sport and their craft. But they can also break it down for me strategically and show me like or help me with the game plan or help me design a game plan specifically for guys that I need to fight.
How is it being part of like? It almost seems like Killcliff is a sports franchise, like an NFL team. Don't you feel that way sometimes? They're so big, so many coaches, so many high level guys, and it's just for you guys. It's just for that team.
There's actually not that many coaches. We only got 5 coaches, and whenever there's a fight, half the coaches are gone. So it's like it's not like AT. It's not like ATT. ATT has like hundreds of coaches. You know what I'm saying? Like everybody can have their own specific coach. Like no, it's only 5 coaches, and they are really like scattered thin. Like these guys work hard, man. They are traveling all the time. These guys are working hard. They'll go from one flight, one fight, one place to another fight the next week, the next place, and like they'll come home for 2 or 3 days, be with their family, and then leave. You know, like these guys are really working.
Sacrifice, man, crazy sacrifice that they
Uh,
put in for you guys. And when you look at Magomed and you look at your skill set, do you feel like you guys are like equally good at anything?
I want to say equally good. I think I'm better,
Mhm.
but I always think I'm better.
Yeah, of course.
um, I think he has a good skill set. I think what he does, I think he has good setups. I think he does. I think he doesn't just do stuff to do stuff in fights, um, which is good. That means that's IQ. That's high level. I mean, that means you know what you're doing. You know how you're placing things in the fight specifically to set certain things up, and that's good. Um, but I think overall, I'm better. That's just how I feel.
So how do you want to perform in this first fight? You know what I mean? Momentum is something that's key in the sport.
My objective is to finish everybody I see. I feel like last year wasn't even like my first attempt because I wasn't supposed to be there. I was supposed to be there, but I wasn't supposed to be there. I didn't get the contract initially in the Challenger Series. I wasn't even the first alternate. I was the second alternate, you know, and I made it to the finals. But last year wasn't even my first attempt, my first real attempt. This is my first real attempt, and this is where gonna use I'm gonna use this platform on my first real attempt and really showcase my skills. But my whole objective this season is not just to try to skate by winning. My objective is to finish everybody I see. That is my objective.
One last thing, one thing that separates PFL from other promotions is that you don't really have to call anyone out. You don't really have to chase big fights. You just go and fight the next guy, and that leads to the big fights. Does that dynamic make the environment better for the fighters and
Yeah,
a better look for the sport as well?
yeah, because it's like you can't pull out from the fight, and if you do pull out from the fight, they have somebody for a backup for you. You know what I'm saying? There's always somebody for you to fight. There's always a fight that's gonna happen, and I like that platform because it doesn't leave people without a check. It doesn't leave people, fightless or like people don't understand. Like on the back end of things, these camps they're not cheap. These camps are tireless sacrifice. Like there's so much that goes into these camps. People really just drain everything just to go through this camp. So it's like, nah, I love this platform. It really puts a good light on what the sport is and what it needs to be. You know.
April 14th, PFL 3. Go in the descriptions, download the AllStar app. Delano, thank you so much, man, for the time. And hopefully we'll be chatting a few times this year, man. It's going to be a wild season.
Yeah, man. Yeah, man.